In our last episode, we made it halfway along the Pembrokeshire coast to Saundersfoot. This episode is all about our summer in Milford Haven. To get there, we had to navigate the three large firing ranges that dominate this section of the coast. We were in fact intercepted by the firing range patrol boat and asked to divert out beyond the St Gothans Cardinal, where unfortunately we had to endure some very confused cross seas, where we got a good shaking and things we'd forgotten we owned were broken up as they crashed across the floor of the boat from one side to the other. 3 hours of that, and with great relief we arrived at our planned anchorage in Dale Bay. Welcome to Milford Haven. So that's Lily taking up. We launched her yesterday, and because she's dried out on Josefine's decks, her planks are shrunk a bit, so we expect that, and basically they leak until the water soaks the planks and they swell and seal the boat. It's called taking up, and that's what she's doing at the moment. So I deliberately not bailed her out because I want the water in there doing its stuff, and for a change it's salt water. It's a beautiful evening, very blusterous, you can see. We've got some very strong winds for the whole of this week and a little bit of next week, and tomorrow we're going all the way down to the far end of Milford's Haven. It's a long way away. It's about I think it's about 12-mile round trip to get groceries in Milford, so that's why we've launched her. I've got to put a boom and gaff on and bend her sails, but I'm just enjoying the evening, to be honest with you. Had a nice mulled whiskey just now. Hi everybody, we finally made it ashore. That's the first time in 9 days, I think, so we're feeling a bit wobbly. We've just literally come in. Our dinghy is over there, Lily's over there, where you'll see that chap with the blue shirt on. Something from the past, isn't it? It's beautiful, really cute. You've got Dale Yacht Club there, and Coco's, which is part of the Dale Yacht Club brasserie, and it has a fantastic reputation, and just been reading the menu, it sounds absolutely fabulous. It doesn't open until 5:30, so it's only open until 5:30 to 8:30. And then you've got, what have we got down here? You've got the Griffin, which is a popular, well-known pub, which we will be trying at some stage. Fantastic water sports centre here. All the time we've been here, we've been watching young kids out on the various different types of boats. The lovely Josephine, glowing in the sunshine, absolutely superb. The views are fantastic, and this little footpath we're going to take, we've done a little bit of this the other day because we wanted to go and have a look at the anchorages. There's two lovely bays over here, and they look quite interesting. They look like quite interesting anchorages, so we're going to try and get a little bit further this time. The old girl's all done in.
No, I'm just saying, we've been doing not a lot since
sleeping. We've done a lot of sleeping.
We've done a lot of sleeping.
And I've done a lot of eating.
And you've done, and I've done a little of eating and a lot of drinking, I think. No.
Fort Trojan. Yes, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. It's I'll speak quietly because it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's Saturday 13th of July, and Rennie and I normally get up fairly early, so this is fairly typical, but I thought you might like to look at the anchorage this morning at Dale because it's picture perfect. Sun's just coming up. We've had some dreadful weather for the last couple of weeks. This is by far the nicest morning since we left Gloucester, I think. So there you have it. Beautiful morning. Just gonna have a cup of coffee. See you later. Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday, 14th of July, and this has just come along. This is called the sun. It's rubbing salt in the wound just to remind us what we should have been enjoying this summer, and it'll probably disappear tomorrow, go back to normal. But at the moment, as you see, the anchorage is lovely and quiet because we've had such a nice weekend so far. Randy's been putting neat's foot oil on all the leather and greasing all the poles with lanolin. The solar working brilliantly. We are living off solar, by the way, completely. Brilliant that is. Solar's been fantastic. I mean, despite the fact we've had so little sun, it's remarkable that we've managed to live just off solar energy. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful. So good morning, everyone. This morning I've put the sails on. I've hanged the jib on and the mainsail. Sorted a whole load of other things out, bailers and fuel and whatnot. We've got the little seagull on there. We're going off to do the shopping. We're going off to do the supermarket shopping, and we're going to Milford, which is a long way down there. You can see. Really, most important thing is the wine and chocolate. So it's got lots of chocolate and biscuits and wine, and Brenda's vegetables and fruits and God knows what else. We got some fuel as well. The trip was a great success. The marina in there, by the way, is really nice. The people running it are really nice and very helpful. Like all marinas, I think they're exorbitantly expensive for bigger boats, and that's just the way it is. You know, once you get into bigger boats like this. Good morning, everybody. It's excuse me, Wednesday the 27th of June. We're at Hobbs Point. That's the Cleddau Bridge. As you see, all the big tugs over there, and that's the dockside where the ferry from Ireland comes in. You can see we're picking up some nice solar this morning, recharging our batteries. We're all ready to go. We've been here for a day, well, a day and a half, I suppose. We've reprovisioned. I mean, it's a gorgeous day, so it's time for us to begin our program of getting Josefine sails up and fully tested. So that's next. This is the pontoon, so I'll show you from the outside. There we go, that'll give you a pretty good view. There we are alongside the pontoon. Big wash for a boat going through here. Rolled us ridiculously, and as we rolled we snagged on that line, pulled it tight, and it snapped. It snapped actually at the knot, which is always the weakest point in a rope. The stern then swung strongly out because we were right in the middle of a spring flood, and the stern of the boat swung right the way out. The bow of the boat swung round, and the bowsprit just nudged the harbour wall here. I could see it slightly bend, terrified it was going to bring the whole rig down. So the whole boat was pivoted. You can see that little bit of damage there on the hull planking there, look. I mean, it hasn't really affected the planking, that's a brand new plank actually. But so you can see where the paint's all scuffed, and that was on this little corner here. So the whole boat was pressing into this corner. I thought we lost the boat because the flood was coming in so hard. I tried reversing up on the spring because we did have the springs out, but because the water was running so hard, it took an hour, bit by bit by bit, eking the stern in until we could finally get a line back on. So lesson learnt, you know, every day is a lesson for us at the moment, which is what you'd expect. It's what we expected. We just want to get through this very steep learning curve before we break something, and so far we've managed that, only just, because it's such a charming place. And Pembroke, absolutely brilliant for provisions. I mean, and the first time we came here we got absolutely everything on our list done. We did the laundry, we did the supermarkets, got every supermarket you could want. There's Josefine from on high. As I say, very popular place to fish.
Yeah.
Is that?
And they'll flap it there, and when you
Oh, I
the
see.
float, so
Yep.
if you tweak it as you're in it, and it'll kink and splash.
Okay.
Not with these. If you're fishing with braid, they put a.
This is mono, is it?
Yeah, just it's usually better when the water's dead calm. Like.
Right.
Good.
Anyway, cheers.
Yeah, no,
Cheers for the tips anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that. Right, this is Cleddau Marine Upholstery, where we're getting our post from. The lovely Simon, who's been so obliging. And then Pembroke Haven Yacht Club. Into Pembroke, literally, there's a Lidl just round the corner and down the hill. I mean, everything's sort of within 10 or 15 minutes walk. Dentists, doctors, railway station, absolutely brilliant. And on the other side over there, you've got the boaty stuff. So you've got the chandlers and sail makers, as I say, Ratses, and no doubt loads of other sort of places. Dead easy cycling over there, so that was really good. So it's got everything really. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And some fishing too. Very swelly though, you know, certain boats make huge swells here and you don't half get hammered on that pontoon. So it can be, it's not all the time obviously. Most of the boats that go by here don't cause any problems, you know. Good afternoon everybody, it's July 29th. Just would like to introduce you to our lovely neighbours, Danish crew of the boat Kettler, and they're on their way to Dublin. And they've been in Milford Haven for 4 or 5 days. And they've been our neighbours for the last couple of days. Very clean and tidy neighbours they are too. And they're going to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Ida.
Ida.
And my name is Frederick.
Frederick is the skipper.
I'm Simon.
Simon.
I'm Anna.
Anna.
And I'm Sophie.
Sophie.
And I'm Dida.
And Dida. How about that then? And their lovely boat.
Hi.
Well, put plenty of fenders out, as we've got here, and your springs. They'll be absolutely fine. We met so many lovely people in Milford Haven. I would like to say a very special thank you to Max Barber, the Commodore of Dale Yacht Club, who made our anchorage at Dale such a pleasure. David Ralston, who went out of his way to help us and provide invaluable tips on sailing in and around Milford Haven. Simon at Cletho Upholstery, who kept our water tanks full and was always happy to help in any way he could. And Roger Pace, who gave us such a lovely welcome when we first arrived at Pembroke. And so many more. Thank you to all of you. If I show you where we are just briefly on here, this is the upper reaches, about as far as we can go. I think there are some anchorages or moorings around here, and then it gets very shallow, so it's dinghy territory only up there. And then down to Cleddau Bridge here that we went under, Hobbs Point, where we spent a couple of lovely days shopping in Pembroke, which was absolutely brilliant. And then if I zoom out all the way down here to Dale, which is where we spent the first couple of weeks, and then out through the Haven entrance, we'll be going out into this area here, avoiding the firing ranges, because we've had some unfortunate experience when they sent us right out to sea here, and we got into some lovely islands that we can investigate around here. Looking forward to that. And then, as you can see, it's a pretty easy jump over to Ireland. Okay, I'll zoom out again so we can get to Ireland, and we can even get down to the Scillies, the Isles of Scillies, or up to the Isle of Man, or even up to Scottish West Isles from here. It's a nice little launch point from here. And this is why we came here. So that's where we dragged. You can see we were about to go outside our 65-metre circle, and that was with 40 metres of chain. So we'd obviously moved about 25 metres, or 20 metres maybe. So we drove forward, dropped the anchor more or less a little bit further downstream than we were before, or what I thought was anyway, and then let out another 10. So we've now got 50 metres out. You know, we don't want weather like this, we want to go sailing, but on the other hand, you know, we've learned some valuable lessons about our anchor equipment and the potential problems in a situation like this. There's not a lot we could do though, you know. This is another issue. This is one of the things I was going to talk to you about, that we've decided that we really need a home base to run to, something really secure. Milford Haven, it could provide it if we could get in somewhere affordable, but there isn't really. Both of the marinas are, you know, out of our pocket, and I don't think they don't really want us anyway because of our size. They're not keen to take a boat like us. Well, that's the impression I got anyway when I tried 2 or 3 times. Look what we did. 3 sails up. There's not much wind, by the way, hardly anything at all. It looks as if some mist or fog's coming in there. I have to be careful of that. So there we go, look, we're actually sailing. Just very, very light winds. A bit to starboard, Randy. We managed to get about 2.5 knots up so far, so practically nothing. And we're heading back into Dale Bay to anchor. We've just come down from Hobbs Point, and it was so beautiful. In the last hour we thought we'd just put the mizzen up because it was so nice. We thought, well, we'll give that a go, and then we thought, well, we'll put the staysail up as well just to balance it. And then we thought, well, there's hardly any wind, let's get a bit of sail up. So we put the main up. So that's our first ever attempt. Engine off for the first time. Hi everybody, it's the 1st of July. I just thought you'd like to see what we're up to this morning. Well, actually, it's 5 to 1 this afternoon. We're sailing. There's the crew working hard. We're just trying to get a measure of how the boat behaves under various canvas. At the moment, the mizzen's doing more work than the staysail. Perhaps if we put the jib up as well, that would balance it out. But anyway, we're just testing them really, just to get a feel for them. How do they behave? What effect do they have on the boat? What effect do they have on our speed? And of course, Randy and I, you know, learning to work as a team. We need to mess about with the lazy jack so that we can get them into a nice position. We've got the wind we need here, and you know, we can play in this whole area here. Plenty of space for us to mess about. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing the same program really. We're going to anchor in that bay over there, just to the right of that boat there, the yacht there, look. Then tomorrow we'll come out and do this all over again. Now then.
You mean the tanker?
Yeah.
There?
Yeah, a big tanker. Looks as if it's heading in here for the West Channel, isn't it? For us, we're actually sailing out of the haven today. The only thing we've got to avoid is the Irish ferry that's due in off St Anne's Head, which is over there. It's due in there at 11:45. So, thank you, Randy. It's my nice cup of ginger tea. moment. For the next few hours, we're just going to let the day drift on like this. Good morning, everybody. It's the 31st of July and we're on another sail training day. We've just left. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 past 10 in the morning, and well, we've got very little wind, if anything at all, inside the haven. We're hoping for a bit more out. As you can see, it's an absolutely gorgeous morning. And the big news today, or this morning, 25 minutes for Randy and I to retrieve the anchor, stow it, and get all 4 sails up this morning. Mizzen, main, staysail, and our jib. Never had that up before. One more to go, the flying jib, and that's here ready to go later on. Randy's just coiling down. Go. We've now got all our head sails up. We've only got 2 sails left, one of which we're not even set up for. We don't have the attachment points or halyards, and that is the mizzen staysail, which sits in here, and that I don't know whether we'll ever use. So the only one we haven't got up is our main topsail. We don't currently have a mizzen topsail, but we certainly have a nice topsail for the main. So that's the only one we haven't got up, and then we're not going to do that today because it needs some sorting out. We'd have to bring the main down and rig the sheets to the end of the gaff. I took that down before we started sailing just to make things simple for us, realizing that we weren't going to need that. So there you have it. I think that peak needs peaking up a bit. Staysail jib and flying jib. The only one that's pulling at the moment. Well, actually the jib and flying jib are. They've put a little bit in them, haven't they? Tomorrow, I think, maybe topsail. You can see they're filling a bit. Not a lot. You can see our little flag showing the wind direction. Topmast is nice, it's not bending, which is good with all that pulling on it. So our backstay, or our triatic, is doing its job. That's the stay that leads from the top of the topmast to the top of our mizzen up there. So that's good, and then that's stayed, of course, with its shrouds here. And these all feel nice and tight. I've been testing them since we've been sailing. Tommy recommended that we temporarily seize them using these metal clamps rather than to seize it with twine, because once she sailed a bit and everything is stretched around a bit, they'd probably want adjusting. In fact, I must do something with that end before it all comes off. So I've been going along testing them. You expect them to be tighter on this side because that's the windward side, and they are slightly. Hello again. It's now 5:30. We've just dropped anchor, and this is when you've had such a lovely day and you've worked so hard, this is when you have to work the hardest. And you can see sails everywhere. So there's our head sails just pulled in and crashed down. You have to get them in quickly. It's a little bit breezy, nothing much, but you know, they're big sails. So once the wind gets in them and it blow over the side of the boat, you're in difficulty. So they're straight down, straight on the deck, straight onto the next one. No time to wrap them up. Ropes everywhere, halyards everywhere. Look, halyards, throat halyards, peak halyards, topping lifts, all our rest of our rubbish. Sail loosely held in place by our lovely lazy jacks, which work for us perfectly with just two of us. You know, these things are a godsend. They just hold all the sail together, so we can just drop the sail. And now we've just dropped it into its gallows, so it's there parked on this side so we can get to it, because the hard work now, we've got to roll it all up. Half an hour to an hour before Randy and I have got all this neatly packed away, probably an hour, and then it'll be wine o'clock time. So I hope you enjoyed today, and I'll catch you later. There you go, everything coiled away. Look, all the sails wrapped up, anchor down, anchor watch on, everything nice and neat. Anchor ball up. I've got to put the anchor light out later on for this evening. We've got our anchor ball up there. There you go, all nice and neatly packed away, and that took about an hour. From the moment we dropped the anchor and catted it, it's taken an hour. Lessons learned today, I think the biggest one for me was the efficiency of that flying jib. Hopefully this will make a better job all round. So that's the job for today. Tomorrow we're going up to, tomorrow morning early, we're going up to Hobbs Point, because we've got some very strong southwesterlies, south-southwesterlies, and believe you me, it gets very, very swelly in here when there is anything that blows in through the mouth of the haven. It's unbearable. We had it last night, and that was fairly light winds, relatively. Next couple of days is going to be twice as blowy, and that means for a hellish night. I can't stand the swells. I can stand everything except that horrible swells that come in through here. Don't mind the long swells out at sea, they're not so bad, but the short ones in here, you just get beaten to death. I put the mizzen up last night, in the middle of the night. I just had to get out. I was so cross. The swells make me so angry. So I put the mizzen up. That helped. Slows down the roll in a bit. But I'm not going to be able to stand 2 days of it. So up to Hobbs Point we go. 5 minutes. I've been experimenting. I've always thought that in anything other than a very light air, this sail is too powerful for solo sailing in this rig. There's only a single reef point in this sail, but it didn't have any reefing lines or anything, so I just put something in there this morning just to experiment. It's not overpowered now, and it's lovely. It's in these sorts of conditions. It's a little blustery. I think it's 10-12 miles an hour wind at the moment, and in this configuration with the reefing, boy, is this a much nicer boat to sail. So I'm just going off for another little jolly, and I'll try and film some of it. I'll go out down the haven, I expect. Down there, look around, but yep, hopefully the sun will come out and we'll take some more pictures of Josefine when we come back. everybody, it's Friday 6th of September and Rennie and I are on our way back to Gloucester for the winter, and I haven't even put out the video that all the video that I took of our summer in Milford Haven. That video is more or less ready, and you're probably wondering, hey, what happened to that lovely autopilot? Why is Reggie steering the boat? Why is he not able to speak to us? And that's because we've had issues in preparing to go back to Gloucester. Sorry about the video, by the way, it is really ready. Nearly. I need a couple of days just to finish it off, and it's now going to have to wait until we actually get back to Gloucester, but it is coming. So if you're watching this, I suppose you're watching the video. But anyway, yeah, we've had in preparing to get back to Gloucester, we had an absolute catalogue of problems. Gearbox failure of a sorts. It's now running properly, although it's been a real, you know, nervous, nightmarish sort of couple of days. The drive shaft that runs our charging and engine run bilge pump broke down. That hot bearing that I mentioned to you in the last video finally just blew up, and I had to take the entire shaft out and everything, so we haven't got any charging, we don't have a engine driven bilge pump, and we've got no sun either. It's been like this all day long, and it's going to be like this tomorrow, so we're really struggling at the moment. We're not charging, the domestic bank is not charging. There's a knock-on effect to all of these problems that we've had. If there was sun, we'd be all right, but we can't run the auto help because it consumes obviously a lot of energy, and if we're not charging, we'll, you know, kill the mattress. So we haven't got that, and a whole load of other things. I just really wanted to bring you in at this stage because this is the first day. We've got 3 days, and it's very anxious moments because of all the problems that we've got, and therefore I wanted you to see it live and how well or not we're coping. It's been very nervy. Randy, being the eternal pessimist, has seen it in a poor light. She thinks it's a lot of bad luck. As an eternal optimist, I see it as a lot of good luck. The same issues, but I think the problems that we've had would have occurred now, while we're cruising along here in the middle of nowhere, if they hadn't gone wrong in the last week. And that, I think, is a blessing. I think that's brilliant. I think that's really, really good luck that all the problems actually occurred before we set off on this journey. Anyway, more of that later on. Avonmouth. So that's Avonmouth. Here's Randy. She's just getting ready to get off and tie us up once we get in. You can just see 3 red lights over there. We're waiting for green lights. And then what we have to do, we're actually in gear at the moment. We're moving, believe it or not, but we're staying still, okay, because we're moving exactly the same speed as the tide. Where that building is at the end, that's the pier wall, and we have to be really tight up against that because it's so shallow over to the left hand side. So we have to get in, and I can't even see it. It's dark. The camera's probably making it look light, well, I hope it is, then you'll be able to see it, but I can't even see that. But when we get closer, hopefully I will. And then you have to literally rub up against the pier side wall before then coming out and going into the lock. So yeah, it's a little bit stressful. It's all new to us. I've got to say, that was one hell of a trip across here. You've got channel markers, and then there's a cardinal out there, the one that's flashing, and we had to come round the back of that, and of course, as luck would have it, a cruise liner was going out at exactly the same time as we wanted to come in. That was coming out of Avonmouth over there, of course, and so that came past just as we really needed to get in here. So as it went by, we came in behind it, flipped in behind, and it isn't, you don't steer across here. I was steering somewhere back where we came from, coming in at 45 degrees. Out there, it's raging, absolutely raging. This side of that green buoy there, suddenly it's relatively calm. I mean, it's not completely calm, obviously. As I said, we're going forward at about, I think, 2 or 3 knots, and yet staying still. Actually, I need to slow down. We're passing, I can see we're passing that. So I'll have to put this down. I'll bring it back in later. Yeah, sorry about that. What happens is I've just had to do a big circle to come back here. What happens here at about this time, there's a counter current that goes right in past the mouth of the marina in the opposite way to the general flow. So here we're in it, but if you get too close, suddenly you start going the other way, and it's something we have to watch. Obviously, as we try to go up against the pier wall, all of a sudden we're going to go from being pushed to the left to suddenly pushed to the right into the pier. So I've never done it before, so we'll find out in a minute. So I better put you down while I calmly contemplate my next move. We're on idle and we're doing 8.5 knots. This is a relatively easy pace just to sort of tread water, because I'm on the leading marks there, the leading line. You can see the port hand channel marker and the red light on the bridge lined up. So I can hold station here because I've got that, as long as I stay on that line. I'm supposed to be going the other way, of course. That's supposed to be behind me. And I'm also in quite a deep pool here, 34 metres. So I'm okay as far as that's concerned. There is very shallow ground off to my port side, well, both sides actually, and you can see the rocks there, look. So I've got to sort of keep it here. So I'll probably keep here for another 10 minutes. And this is the strongest current here, so this is the hardest one to slow down on. So I'm hoping as we go further up the river towards the other bridge, with less of a current, less of a tidal stream, I'm hoping that I'll be able to slow it down more manageably instead of having to make this sort of circles, if you like. Good morning everybody. It's about, what time is it? 11:15. We're just slowly making our way up the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal. We've got a bridge booked. There's 2 road bridges we have to go through, and the first one's booked for 2:30 and the next 3. We're going to be probably an hour and a half early, so I'm taking my time. I had to make allowances for stopping and fueling. We just took on 800 litres of fuel, and it went much quicker than I expected, but you have to make allowances. So here we are up Gloucester. It's a pretty breezy day, so we're having to be on our mettle to make sure we don't get shoved off into the hedge. There's a lot of windage on a boat like this, as you can imagine, and that's our path. You see all the narrow boats and river boats moored up alongside. This is one of our favourite bits of the canal actually. We buried our dog Brock just up here on the left hand side. Well, I think I just went over a low bit of ground. That's the other thing about the canal, it's not very deep, and there are areas which are quite shallow. I think I just felt us lift a bit. So the next time I talk to you, we'll be sitting down having a nice glass of wine at the end of our very first sailing season, such as it has been. It's gone in a flash, to be honest with you. It feels it now. It didn't always feel that way, you know, when we were having to deal with problems. I've got a little narrowboat coming towards me. I've just got to keep out, make sure I don't collide with it. Most of the time they leave us the middle channel because they know we're deep drafted, but you never can tell, so we're just ready for somebody to do something stupid. But this one looks as if he's being nice and polite, giving us space. Yeah. Good morning everybody. I think it's the 14th of September. Here we are in Gloucester docks, and Randy and I are just drying the sails out. We've just had the main up and we've just put it down, and it's a great opportunity to fold it away neatly so you can see all our nice little neat lines. Randy, if you just lift the throat a little bit and then I'll tie that off in there. Whoa, down a bit. Hold it there. Everything seems to be 100 miles an hour with us. We've got to book some tickets. We're going over to France to see my mother. and haven't seen my mother for a very long time, and now we have got the time, and she's got a few health issues, so we're going to go over and see her before she has a little operation, and then we'll be back, and we've got a long list of work that we want to get done, which we've already really started on, but only very gently. So there you have it. Just thought you'd like to see what we're up to this morning. You see there's